Really excited about how we played last week. I thought we came out with a lot of energy. It was a great crowd at home. I appreciate everybody coming out. I hope they'll all come out Thursday. Should be a good night for football. It's going to cool off a little bit. And it's always a good game when we play MC. A lot of respect for Coach Bland and his staff and what they're are building down there. Tough opponent. You know, they've got weapons. They play hard. They've switched defenses similar to us. They've gone to a 4-down front this season. But they are, you know, obviously have some playmakers on the offense. And they've got some guys on defense on the back end especially. Got a lot of length and size. And they do a really good job. They run the football extremely well. And it doesn't matter. Both teams are 2-2, I believe, coming in this football game. You can throw records out when you play this game. It's a rivalry game, and it's an important game to both institutions. And we're excited. TV game Thursday night, and it's a short week. We've got to get going. We're going to prepare. Having to practice tonight because of class schedules, and our thing is always we've got to focus on ourselves this week. We've got to continue to improve. I feel like we've gotten better, a little bit better in each game that we've played, and I'm excited about that. Hopefully we can continue to do that. You know, the thing that I keep challenging our team for the last couple weeks is I thought we had great energy and played with a lot of passion the last 2 weeks, and that's got to continue Thursday night. And it shouldn't be hard to get them excited about this one, interstate rivalry game, and why you come here to play, and it's a big one, and hopefully we'll be able to go out there with a lot of energy and play our style of football Thursday night. I'll answer anything you got.
Coach, going back to Saturday, you talked about wanting to get more turnovers, and you guys had 3 interceptions and 4 several fumbles. Talk about the play of the defense and creating the turnovers.
Yeah, I thought they played really, really hard. We still had some miscues and some things that we're coaching up, but our missed tackles have gone down every week. I think the gang tackling is how you create fumble. It's good to see us get some interceptions on the back end, and that's something that we strive for and really challenged our team. And right now we're +5 since we really, after our first 3 football games, kind of regroup. And it was a good night the other night as far as turnovers go. And that's something that we're going to continue to emphasize and talk about every day in this football program is protecting the ball on offense and taking it away on defense. And that's what you got to try to do.
As far as Mississippi College, Coach, program, it just seems like each passing year they've been building and getting better. Perhaps I know last year's game, if I'm not mistaken, kind of went back and forth. Can you just talk about maybe the way their program, it seems like it's moving up and getting closer and closer to maybe some of the higher echelon teams in the GSC?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's no question that they're improving. They've still yet to win a Gulf South Conference game, and hopefully that doesn't start this week. But it's going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen, and they're going to break through just like everybody else because they are getting better, like you said, each and every year. And it's not an easy situation that Coach Bland and his staff inherited there, trying to move from a Division III program to a Division II program. And I think they've done it with a lot of class, and I think they've done it the right way, and they're building it from the ground up, and that's what you have to do. So, like I said, we don't want to be the ones. We want to play our game and give ourselves a chance to win and play to our standards. But they have done a very good job, and they had chances last year in this game. Thought they played well against us 2 years ago when we won the conference. So it's going to be a tough one, no doubt about it. It's going to be a 4-quarter game. It's going to be a 60-minute game, and you've got to be ready to play.
Do you sense that maybe they treat this game like the Super Bowl? This is the game they circle on their calendar?
I think so. I think it's a big game for both programs. I think that I don't know how big of a game it was until our guys last year. Last year I felt like they came off that game and they said, "Wow, that was a big time game." And I I said, yeah, that's what we've been talking about. You know, it's just hard to educate your players on something that they were never a part of growing up. And you're talking about from 95 to 2014, well, that's when most of our players were born and going through teenage years. I mean, they didn't even know about this rivalry. So, you know, trying to educate it on them, but now that they felt it, and we've got a lot of returners back from last year that have been in it now twice. So it's a big game, and yeah, I think it's big to them. It's big to us, and we got to get ready to roll.
Coach, are you relying on your veterans to instill the importance of this game into your new players?
Well, I don't think. I mean, I don't know. We talked about it Saturday night after our game. I mean, we talked about it. You know, the bells in our locker room. We want to keep it there. We talked about it as soon as the game was over Saturday night, so we already started talking about it. We talked about it again last night at meetings. But it's hard to explain, but it's more about us improving and playing to our standards than it is who we're playing. And that's the thing. You know, you gotta, before you can beat anybody else, you gotta be beating yourself. And we've got to continue to play the way that we want to play. And I thought the last 2 weeks were closer to our standard, you know, with the intensity level and the way that we came out. And pregame just felt different the last 2 weeks. I mean, everything's felt different after the Texas A&M Commerce game. So I know we're getting better, and I'm hoping that we will play better Thursday than we did last Saturday, you know, and I hope that we continue to do that. And if we can be that type of team that keeps getting better, I think that's all you can ask of your young men. And they know it's important, you know, and they're going to hear it. They've been hearing it. They're probably hearing it right now. They're hearing it on campus, wherever they go in town. You know, this is a game that you want to win up here each and every year, and I'm sure the same thing is being said in Clinton right now. So.
Just as far as the GSC, I know it's still early, Coach, but looking at the standings, we'll start seeing as we move deeper in the conference play, teams start to cancel each other out. And you just kind of talk a little about maybe the importance of getting some momentum going to get ready to turn this corner.
No doubt. I mean, you know, we want to get on we want to get a streak going. You know, we want to get to where we've won 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row, and it's the next step's Thursday night. We got to take another step. We've talked about it for a while now, but we talked about getting on a train and taking a ride together as soon as the West Georgia game was over, and took our first step last week. It was a good step. Now let's see if we can go take another one. And it's not just about the wins. That's awesome, but it's about the process that we have to take to get there. I think that's what our young men are starting to understand. Is they're starting to understand that this is what it takes to win. This is how we have to practice to win, and this is how we have to prepare right before the game to win. This is how we have to rest the night before a game to win. You know, and if you buy into that process, then you got a chance to win and keep winning. And that's like you said in the Gulf South, what you got to do, because there's still going to be a lot of paint swap this year in the Gulf South, and there's a lot of football left. And this is another tough Gulf South opponent, and I'm sure the week after that we'll have another tough one, the week after that, and it's just the way it is in this league, and you got to bring it every week. So we're focusing on us, as always, to try to execute better, to tackle better, to block better, do the things that we have to do to keep winning. So.
Coach, part of the process is actually letting the process play out.
No doubt.
You brought in a new defensive coordinator, first couple of weeks, not the way you wanted it to go. Week 3, market improvement. Week 4, even maybe greater gains. You feel like that group is finally gelling and starting to buy into what Coach Jackson is doing?
I think so. I mean, it's a drastic move when you go from what we were at to what we are now defensively, and it takes time. And you can say, well, they had spring. Yeah, we had spring. We hadn't been any fires together. We hadn't been in any games together, you know, and hadn't had the mistakes to learn from off of tape that we're learning from now. And I think that defensively our coaches have done a great job, and our players are starting to buy in. You're seeing more and more guys step up on that side of the ball. And, you know, it's the same thing, to be honest with you, quite frankly, offensively. I mean, we're a total different offense than we've ever been here. You know, we're running the ball a lot more than we've ever been here. It's a good thing, but it's different. We've slowed the game down a little bit more. We're starting to win time of possessions. You know, this is our identity. You know, I talked to our team Friday afternoon before the game about, I know our identity going into the fourth game. It takes a while to figure it out. Our identity is we're going to play harder than anybody we play, and we're going to play with a chip on our shoulder. I'm going to coach with a chip on my shoulder. Sometimes that gets me in trouble. I've got to calm down a little bit, but and I recognize that. But that's kind of how we play. We're all in, we're all together, and that's how we want to play on Thursday. And we're going to make mistakes, and we want to try to make them 100 miles an hour. You know, we don't want to make just a baby mistake. Let's make them going full speed, and hopefully us playing hard will make up for it. And that's kind of how we've always been. But this team, more probably so than ever, has to buy into that, and they are so far. And it's starting to come together, and it's a lot of fun watching the transformation.
Coach, two-part question. Can you talk about the individual performances of Keith Flanagan and Aaron Brown, and then with the way that Coach Green and Coach Jackson switch up guys so much on the defensive front? How hard is that to keep a guy like Aaron off the field when he has 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles in a game?
Well, I think it goes hand in hand. I think the reason Aaron was able to do that was because he was able to remain fresh, and we're able to play 8, 9 guys up front, where in the past we haven't had that luxury. So Coach Green's done a great job of making sure we've got fresh guys in there. We're starting to get into other packages on third downs where we bring more defensive end type guys onto the field, more pass rushing type guys, and that's helped us. Keith Flanagan has been a guy, to go back to your first part of your question, Keith Flanagan has been a guy since he's been here. He's just handled his business. He's been a great teammate. He wants to play. He wants to compete. He's a hard worker, and it's really good to see him have that type of football game. You know, and the first thing I said after the game was over, he was coming out to do an interview with you guys. I said, "Man, you played really well." He said, "Coach, I left some things out there. I got to do better in this." And that's just how he is, and you love that about him. As a guy has 2 interceptions, a recovered fumble, 4 or 5 tackles, you know, plays really well stat-wise, but he knows that he can get so much better, and that's what it's going to take for us to get where we want to get as a whole team. And Aaron, proud of him as a senior, just the way he's coming on. Hope that game really boosts him and he keeps coming forward and having more production like that the rest of the season. Anything else, man? Appreciate y'all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.